It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show, live right here from the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Got another good show lined up for you. At least we think it's a good show. We're going to hear from the Waller Bulldogs head football coach, Gene Johnson. Big win over the Cleveland Indians to start off district play this past weekend. Also, we will reach down to the state of Florida and speak with a living PV legend. Now he is serving in his newly appointed position as offensive coordinator at FAMU, Mr. KJ Black. Whole lot to get in on the discussion for tonight. So sit back, relax, enjoy the ride as we go to the fastest hour in radio, the Mike Prince Show, Sunday Night Live. And without any further delay, we're going to jump right into tonight's episode. Well, it is another exciting weekend. NFL rolling along. My Steelers rolling along. And life is good. Huge weekend as far as upsets go. The two programs that I ragged on all week long, and I'll still rag on them because a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then, and a broke clock is correct at least twice a day. The Texas A&M Aggies pull off the defeat over Florida, and the Missouri Tigers pull off the upset over LSU. Now, I do know and understand that there are going to be a lot of people saying, well, LSU had to vacate the premises and it was supposed to be a home game. And because of Hurricane Delta, they had to travel to Columbia. And I get all that. And it happens. But in all fairness, they went from being a 21-point favorite at home to a 14-point favorite on the road. And they really were outplayed. I don't know what happened with the Tigers. And there's a lot of finger pointing going on right now at LSU. And I'll take this one because the Tigers, typical Tiger football, they pull off a win like this. You put your hope in them. And then next thing you know, they're losing to someone they should have drug up and down the field. And then as far as the Aggies are concerned, took a last-minute field goal, but once again, it doesn't matter how the win comes, as long as the win comes, right? Does this solidify Jimbo Fisher? It was his first win over a top 10 ranked opponent since being in Aggie land. Will that give them enough oomph to get over? Only time will tell. Locally, on Friday Night Football action here from the high school circuit, good night for the Bulldogs. Bulldogs all over the Cleveland Indians, winning by the score of 50-6. We'll hear from Coach Gene Johnson in our first segment after we come back from our break here. And a rest of Waller County scores and updates. Rose Hill lost to Tomball Homeschool Warriors by the score of 20-16 on the Battle of the Tomball Cup. That game was actually listened to live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. And the Royal Falcons ran out of gas against the Sealy Tigers, losing by the score of 43-8. So a little up and down throughout the county. Of course, we'll have more wrap-ups and score reports on our Monday morning edition of the Mike Prince Show here each and every day. In case you didn't know, we do come on Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. is the slated time. And, of course, Sunday nights, we're live from 6 to 7 p.m. If time permits, you can call in and join in on the conversation at 936-333-5256. But we do have some scheduled guests for tonight, And while I'm saying all that, we might as well take a break and get lined up for our first guest on tonight. Once again, you're listening to the Mike Prince Show, live edition, right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We'll take us a break, and we'll be right back.
Broadcasters come into our lives on radio and TV, bringing us information and entertainment. Broadcasters are there for us, but who is there for them when they fall on hard times? The Broadcasters Foundation of America provides financial assistance to broadcasters in acute need due to a critical illness, accident, or other serious misfortune. If you know of a broadcaster on the air or behind the scenes who may need our help, please share our message. Visit broadcastersfoundation.org.
At 17 cents a day, you can make a huge impact on our local and regional high school and college student athletic coverage. We provide local talk shows, live game coverage, and much, much more. But we need your support to continue to move forward. Visit our website today at obnradio.com. Click on the PayPal button, which is safe and secure, and become a listening partner today. Will you become part of the Open Mic Broadcast Network team? Visit that website at obnradio.com and become a listening partner today. Serving the community through faith and athletics, the voice of student athletics, the Open Mic Broadcast Network, Prairie View, Texas.
Do you know what's up with Ryan? He's been acting weird and he's not hanging out anymore.
He borrowed money from me and still hasn't paid it back.
His girlfriend broke up with him a couple weeks ago. Said he was more into his sports app than her.
He may be addicted to fantasy sports. We need to get him some help.
Sports betting and fantasy sports can have serious consequences. Know somebody with a gambling problem? Get free and confidential help. Call 1-877-MY-LIMIT. That's 1-877-695-4648. Or go online to opgr.org.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mike Prince, the pastor of the Temple of Refuge Ministries located in Prairie View, Texas. I am extending a personal invitation to you to come and worship with us Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Simply dial 857-777-0000 and join us for our morning worship. In the event that you miss us live, you can always go to our on-demand center at 720-721-1558 to listen to our latest sermons and Bible studies. Temple of Refuge Ministries, where we're building the kingdom, one soul at a time. Numbers to dial again for our live sermons, 857-777-0000 and on demand, 720-721-1558. Be blessed. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.org. And welcome back to Sunday Night Live. Radio guy Dr. Mike Prince here with you. Sunday night action. Things are always happening, but never like it is on Friday Night Lights. The Bulldogs were able to secure the homecoming 2020 victory, beating the Cleveland Indians by the score of 50-6. We now have on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline head football coach Gene Johnson. How you doing this evening, Coach? Happy to be celebrating a win. And with that being said, give us a recap if you could, sir.
Well, we had a lot of respect for Cleveland. No movement as they moved up classification, but they had hung 60 the week before against Northbrook. They had won 60-26, I believe. And a great deal of respect and wanted to make sure that we bottled up offense. They run kind of a single wing, Notre Dame box spinner type offense that's really unique, and they have a really exceptionally great athlete. Our kids kind of were on high alert for the challenges that could present, and we knew what kind of player that was, and so I was really, really proud of our kids to come out focused and dialed in on that. And then, of course, defensively, they played a lot of man coverage, and we thought that we might have the potential for a good night. And I feel like Caleb Godfrey just played so well. He finished 10 for 10 for, I think, 195 yards maybe and 3 touchdowns. So a lot of really good things. I think our kids came in dialed in and performed really well.
Well, with the kids coming in dialed in, an exceptional year it's been 2020, unlike anything that any of us have ever experienced. And quite frankly, I don't think we would wish this on our worst enemy, Coach. Uh-oh. Did we lose them? I think we may have had a technical snafu. Let us take a quick break.
Hello?
We're going to try to take a break and get line back up here with Coach. Might have some technical challenges. That's part of what happens when you go live. We'll be right back.
Well, 100 years still on the grind, and without that grind, the shield don't shine, Lord. No, I pledge my way through the burning sands. Follow 3 stars to Sigma land, Lord. So if tomorrow comes and I'm not here, don't you shed a tear for me. Spread my wings and fly. Spread my wings and fly. Spread my wings and touch the sky for real. Spread my wings and fly. Yeah, oh boy. Ever true, oh my, blue fire.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The challenges of going live. It happens to the best of us, and we do apologize for the technical challenges, but we will reconvene back to the Brazos Valley School Credit Union hotline with head football coach Gene Johnson. Coach, are you back with us, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, very good. We were doing a recap of the game and everything that we got. So if you can just, we got a good performance, 10 for 10, and we'll pick back up from there.
Sure. You know, what some of the challenges that Cleveland presented, and was really, really proud of our kids. As I mentioned, Caleb Godfrey was excellent in the passing game, and one thing I didn't get to a minute ago was Davion Crawford on the kickoff return for a touchdown, and so our special teams unit played good and made good plays. And defensively, just to hold those guys to 6 points, and really probably maybe had a shot at the shutout, but we tried to get everybody on the field and let everybody play so that if we left the starter in, we would have got the shutout. But I feel like defensively we just played lights out against that offense.
Okay, and by playing lights out against the offense, you were able to establish some things and you build up some momentum for your next week's opponent, or this week's opponent, I should say.
Yep. No, we're looking to head over to Conroe and take on Caney Creek, and so there'll be a different style. I told our kids patience will have to be a little bit different on offense this week. We won't see nearly as much man coverage, and so we'll have to make some throws underneath and beat zone coverage. And the style of offense is totally different. Hopefully maybe kind of puts us back out into some more traditional things and maybe some things that we can be comfortable in, hopefully defending. But certainly it'll be the next step and an opportunity for the guys to try to go 2-0 in district, so it's a big step.
Yes, sir, a big step it is. And once again, it's always good to get that first district win underneath your belt. Now, with the late start, are there going to be any type of adjustments, Coach, as far as playoff qualifications, or will it be as normally scheduled out?
It's going to be as normally scheduled out. I think state championship game is going to obviously be pushed up into January now, but but they're going to play it out just like it were a normal season.
Okay, very good. So with some of the new wrinkles that you have, I know you were talking about the combination of your backs in the backfield. How are things coming along with the adjustments and everything getting fine-tuned? And does it seem like these guys are getting into that actual football mode compared to where you had to start and stop?
Yeah, I think, sometimes the passing game is one of the things that you can argue struggles the most, just from a timing standpoint and a continuity standpoint. And that's one thing I've been really proud of. We've got 4 wide receivers that I think are all 4 really good players, Aaron Ramos and Cam Martin and Davion Crawford and Mason Stewart. And those guys just matching up and timing up with Godfrey, and their timing has been incredible. So, I'm proud of that, and then I'm proud defensively, as you mentioned. We didn't get a chance to go through spring training, and so those guys have kind of been scrambling with the new scheme under Coach Tim Spradlin, our defense coordinator, and we switched from 4-man front to a 3-4, and they've kind of taken to it and have done a great job. Okay,
Coach, as always, we appreciate you making yourself available. Apologize that we had the little snafu, but as they say, the show must go forward, and I guess that summarizes 2020 where we are so far, huh? No doubt. We're learning how to get through a lot of things in 2020. All right. Well, the Bulldogs take care of the Indians, and they'll get ready to take care of Caney Creek. Now, Caney Creek, they're the Panthers. Is that not right?
Yes, sir. That's exactly right.
The Caney Creek Panthers this Friday be a 7 p.m. kickoff. Coach, as we say all the time, go Dogs and come back with another win.
Thanks so much. Go Dogs.
All right. Coach Gene Johnson with the Waller Bulldogs, victorious over the Cleveland Indians. We are going to take another break and get ready for our next guest and try to fine-tune some things that we're dealing with on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. But as always, you guys stay connected, stay tuned, and we shall return with more of the Mike Prince Show live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Sergeant Stephen Woodard with the Texas Department of Public Safety. This is your Traffic Safety Talk. Here in the state of Texas, we get a lot of different weather events. It may be hot one day, and the weather may change next. But with a heavy rain event, I want you to continue to be cautious, check on your neighbors, and never drive through flooded roadways, especially at night. It's generally hard to judge the depth of water during low light times. Flash flooding is the number one weather-related killer here in the state of Texas. More than 50%, all of our flash flood fatalities nationwide involve vehicles. Saving lives is my and DPS's number one priority. Never attempt to drive through flooded roadways, and always remember, around, don't drown. Some safety tips. Even in relatively shallow water, you should think about this. Tires can act as flotation devices. They can actually lift a big vehicle of several different sizes, sending that vehicle downstream of that flooded area, and it only takes 300 pounds and will go going down the road. Where water covering roadways, it could actually hide washed out bridges, gutters, and also large cracks in the roadway. Keep in mind, if you are in a low-lying area, especially an area that floods, you set everything that you have in high positions. If you can, leave the area. Never allow children to play near ditches and storm drains. Keep an emergency kit in your vehicle, complete with flares if possible, lights, triangles, be a small flashlight, raincoat. Forget your cell phone charger. Other essentials like medication. Monitor your weather authority. Always listen to the public officials, their recommendations and orders. Remember, take care of yourself and each other. This is Sergeant Stephen Woodard with the Texas Department of Public Safety. This was your Traffic Safety Talk.
Broadcasters come into our lives on radio and TV, bringing us information and entertainment. Broadcasters are there for us, but who is there for them when they fall on hard times? The Broadcasters Foundation of America provides financial assistance to broadcasters in acute need due to a critical illness, accident, or other serious misfortune. If you know of a broadcaster on the air or behind the scenes who may need our help, please share our message. Visit broadcastersfoundation.org.
This broadcast has been made possible by the support of the Prairie View Athletic Club. The Prairie View Athletic Club is a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics. For more information on becoming a member of the Prairie View Athletic Club, send your email to pvathletic.club@gmail.com. That email address again is pvathletic.club@gmail.com. Prairie View Athletic Club, a proud supporter of Prairie View A&M University athletics.
And welcome back to the Mike Prince Show Sunday night edition. I think we may have gotten the kinks ironed out. I want to thank Coach Gene Johnson being our first guest on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. Don't forget, you can join us each and every day right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network with news that you can use and all kind of little trinkets and gumdrops. And part of the news that went on this week that the Bayou Classic was rescheduled and realigned for April 17th, 2021. And that's part of that spring lineup. And it's going to be in Shreveport, Louisiana. There's a major annual renovation that takes place at the Superdome at that time of year, so they had to find another spot. And Shreveport said, we will be more than happy. The Sports Authority Group stepped up, stepped in, and so far, so good. But on the back side of things, some of the LSU faithful and other naysayers jumped in and had some pretty, let's just say, non-positive comments and statements to make about the gathering of Southern University in Grambling. And some have gone as far as to say, keep it there. Now, for opposite reasons, I happen to be one who appreciate Shreveport. And I think it's a golden nugget that is not yet to be tapped. But some of the derogatory statements, comments, thoughts, and people are entitled to it. It's part of what makes America America. But you have to be able to handle it if you dish it out. And there's a particular site, an LSU site. I'm not going to promote it, but you can kind of Google it yourself and see some of the comments that are being said. And I know it's not from the official office, but it's a remnant of the following. And it makes one stand position, which is why I always come to defend the honor of my beloved Prairie View, SWAC Conference, MEAC Conference, HBCU institution. I support people, period. And I try to be a voice for others who might not have the courage or the know-how how to speak up for themselves. But it's just amazing how people can show their true colors. They hide behind the anonymity of internet, this, that, and the other, and they expose themselves for the cowards that they are. But when the dust settles, we all are entitled to our opinions. And to the naysayers and the wannabes and the who-bees, the woulda, coulda, shouldas, kick rocks, go and do whatever it is that you feel necessary to be done. And I pray that somehow before you leave this earth, that you get over your incompetence and your irrational thoughts and ways of thinking. But it is what it is, and therefore we got to let it do what it do. That's enough of that. We'll move forward. Prairie View A&M University Panthers made a couple of basketball assistant hires on the women's side of things. They were able to bring Coach Pruitt on board. She used to coach at Alcorn. She will be helping Coach Sandy Pugh. And by the way, as a programming note, we are scheduled to hear from Miss Sandy Pugh on Monday, which will be on tomorrow with the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline interview. And on the men's side, Coach Villarreal from University of Texas, Ron Rio, or Grand Rio, whatever it is. We used to call it Edinburgh. But he will be part of the coaching staff, and we'll get the chance to try to get both of them here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. So things are moving and grooving. Basketball season scheduled to pick up November 25th. The women's basketball program have some schedules out. We'll reach out to Coach Smith to get some of that non-conference schedule lined up and ready to go. It's just exciting all the way around. You're kind of feeling things going on, even though the football season has a bit of a gap because I don't have my SWAC football, but it's coming real soon, real soon. And will your team be ready? Will the Panthers be in position to strike? A lot of people talking about the other programs. Panthers are kind of under the radar. Everybody's talking about FAMU. Everybody's talking about Bethune-Cookman. Everybody's talking about Jackson State. Everybody's talking about Alcorn. Everybody's talking about Southern. Everybody's talking about Grambling, and deservedly so. But do you really and truly think this shouldn't be motivating Coach Dooley and crew to go out and make a point? Don't forget about the Panthers. Don't forget that the Panthers still have a prolific offense, still working on tightening up some things on the defensive side. But could they be a dark horse for the 2021 season? Only time will tell. We know who's going to come in with the glip, with the pop, with the shenanigans and pizzazz. Jackson State, FAMU, they're going to come in, more or less with FAMU from the body of work that they've done the last few seasons. And with Jackson State, the latest hire of Coach Sanders. So it's going to be a whole lot, in the mixed, if you would, on laying this thing out. Will the Panthers have enough in the strike force to turn some heads and say, aha, you forgot about us? The West is definitely going to have a new look with Alcorn coming in to the western side of things. So if you were to theoretically go through the West, if you had to pick how they would finish from the western side of the division today, you would have to give a slight nudge or inside track to Alcorn. They are defending SWAC champion. Then you would have to more than likely say maybe Southern University. Grambling follows after that. And Prairie View. Then you would have Pine Bluff and Texas Southern. That would how it would look on paper, theoretically. But I could imagine that if there's any need of motivation and motivational material, Coach Dooley and crew should have this in they say, the hugest font possible, or just get some posters made and say, wait and see, and use my home state motto, show me what you got. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all this will shape up. I am going to take another break, and we'll try to get back on the line with us, Coach KJ Black of the FAMU Rattlers. You're listening to the Mike Prince Show live right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network. We'll be right back. Let's face it, from time to time, we'll have a need for an attorney, whether it's the case of a DUI, DWI, or any other circumstances that would find you on the other side of the law. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, located at 1047 Austin Street, is the one to call. Attorney Lee Van Richardson and his staff are equipped to help you get through your legal battles. Attorney Lee Van Richardson, 979-826-8008 in Hempstead, Texas.
One voice, It can get the point across, but it only carries so far. Add a voice. It's richer, louder, but that has limits too. Add a third voice. It's even more powerful. Add another, and many, many more. And we are stronger than ever. That's the power of a community coalition. They help community groups, faith groups, civic organizations, PTAs, employers, and many others in your community organize their resources and focus them where they're needed most, like fighting to keep kids away from drugs. Ask a group that you belong to if they should belong to a community coalition. It's easy to get involved. Visit helpyourcommunity.org and they'll tell you exactly how your group can help. That's helpyourcommunity.org, because you get more when we get together. Brought to you by the Office of National Drug Control Policy and the Ad Council.
Be the one with courage to fight child abuse.
All Texans must find the courage to fight child abuse.
Learn the signs and symptoms and report suspected abuse to appropriate authorities.
Learn and know these warning signs.
A child who undergoes changes in behavior, appetite, or routine.
Watch for unexplained injuries, a change in academic performance, or loss of interest by a child in regular activities.
Trust your instincts. If you suspect something, do something.
If you believe a child is in an abusive situation, please call the Texas Abuse Hotline at 1-800-252-5400.
Be the one with courage. To find your local Children's Advocacy Center, visit onewithcourage.org.
On behalf of children, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to roll right along. You're listening to the Mike Prince Show Live Sunday Night Edition. Don't forget, you can check us out each and every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Of course, we're live in living color on Sundays from 6 to 7 Central Standard Time. Our next guest needs no introduction to PV Nation. He is the last quarterback to lead the Panthers to the promised land. And he's gotten old. 2009 was the year. And I'll present to some, introduce to others, none other than offensive coordinator for the FAMU Rattlers, Brother KJ Black. How you doing this evening, sir?
Well, I was doing good till you called me old.
Well, you are old.
No, man, I'm not old. Like I just told you, I'm getting better every day.
You getting better? Well, that's what old folks say. They're getting better every day. I'm getting better.
Here you go.
It's all good, brother. It's all good. We still family, all right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And speaking of, how is the family doing, man?
We're good. The wife is doing well. She's actually working with COVID patients, recovering COVID patients every day. So she's in that fight, doing great work over here in Tallahassee. My 2-year-old is driving us crazy, so keeping us busy definitely. Had me at the park today for 3 hours and did not want to go home. So they're both doing well, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, they say the 2-year-olds be making room for the next one coming on. You got any good news for us?
No, I do not. Not at this time. And don't you put that on me. Not right now. Not right now.
Anything on you, man. It's just called life. It's called life.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
Yes, sir. Now, 2020, no doubt, has been a year of challenge for all parties involved, but it's also been a year of promotion for you. And let me say congratulations on being named offensive coordinator, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Now, with that being said, what is the expectations for you as the offense coordinator? Each coach has their different style and expectations. How involved would you be in actual game calling during the game? I know preparation, and are you still quarterbacks coach as well?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, so explain how you'll be able to split those roles up and the expectations that you're having.
Well, the good thing for me, at least the way I see it, I've been involved with Coach Simmons now for going on 6 years. So I don't plan to do anything different. I plan to try not to steer the ship in the wrong direction. If I can just keep it afloat, I figure I'll be doing pretty well. And going forward, as far as game planning, that's something that we're still talking about and discussing weekly. But I think right now, if you were to ask me what has changed for me since I have been promoted, I just now have gone from being in charge of 4 young men to now 45. So now I have to make sure that I'm involved in conversating with more than just the quarterbacks, which is different, but it's also exciting. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about having more input in practice planning and game planning as well. So it's a little bit more workload, but I'm excited to take that challenge on and hopefully we have nothing but great things that come from it.
Well, you're a PV man and you were built for such a time as this. So no matter where you go, no matter who you're coaching, you'll always have the PV driving force to help you be successful. And we're wishing you nothing but success. Only time, I'm going to have to be honest with you, man, only time I'm going to probably root slightly against you now that you guys are part of the conference is when you come back to play Prairie View.
And you know what? My players have already started asking me about that. So they're already pulling my chain and asking me how I'm going to handle playing my alma mater. I just told them it's another game, another one that's going to have a little extra spice to it, but it's another football game. So they already putting pressure on me.
Well, I already understand, and I'll text you some pressure, leading up to that game. I won't mess with you until that game and go over there and try to get some snapshots of your game plan and everything so we can try to give the Panthers a little insight.
See, you ain't right. You just said we were family.
We are family, man. We are family.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking right now with KJ Black, offensive coordinator for the FAMU Rattlers. Now, this will be season number 2 for you with FAMU, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you come through, and I know it's always an adjusting period, and you get a chance to see how other folks do and operate things and get to see another conference. And I know you didn't imagine in 100 years that when you went and took that leap of faith over to the MEAC that you'll be coming right back to the SWAC, huh?
No, I didn't. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. I'm actually excited about it. I think adding FAMU and adding Bethune-Cookman does nothing but increase the prestige of the SWAC, which is already high to those that follow it and even those that may not be familiar with it. But you have the likes of the Jackson States and the Gramblin's and Southern. So adding Florida A&M University and Bethune-Cookman University does nothing but increase our reputation across the country. I think if you were to ask some of the experts who cover the FCS as a whole, they would say that the SWAC is now more prestigious and higher ranked than it probably was beforehand. So I'm excited to go back and add to what's already a great conference.
Yes, sir. Now, when you talk about the prestige of the conference, me personally, I believe the prestige of the conference has always been there. Maybe not as recognized as others would want to, but the proof is always in the pudding. Multiple Pro Bowl Hall of Famers that came from this conference, the prestige and the honor, the leading of attendance, and just some quality ball play might not be on the high scale as far as budgets go, but holding its own weight to anyone that you want to line up to. I agree. And that's something that I talk to ad nauseum with recruits, with parents of recruits, with, neighbors at my apartment complex. I talk to them about how we are the leaders in attendance yearly. And it's not just a one-time thing. We show up and show out for our own. We put a good product on the field, and we deserve, in my estimation, we deserve to be recognized just as well as the other FCS conferences around the country. Absolutely. And when you really think about it, it boils down to every kid that's playing a sport. They have aspirations of going to play in the professional ranks, whether it's the NFL, NBA, MLB, WNBA, whatever other sport professional ranking that you can think of. And you can only go to certain places before the vacancies are all filled up and filled out. And why not get a quality education, which is what the bottom line is, should always be about. Get a chance to play some competitive games, win some championships, and still go pro, because if you got it, you got it. And they'll find you even if you're in a third world country underneath the rock. If you have the skills, they will seek you out.
Absolutely. And again, that's something else that we talk to our recruits and parents about, because a lot of them, that's the first question they ask. Coach, I want to go to the NFL. Can FAMU, can Prairie View A&M, can they get me to the NFL? And I tell them, yeah. And then I tell them two guys that just in my short time that I've had a chance to work with who have gotten that opportunity. Quinn Bell, who was drafted here recently, and Kadero Hodge, who's still playing on Sundays and getting catches and multiple snaps at receiver for the Cleveland Browns.
Yes,
if that's what your passion is and that's what your ability and your God-given talent is good enough that the Lord has blessed you with that opportunity, it will come. It really doesn't matter what colors you put on Saturdays. If you're talented enough, you can get to the NFL. And going back to your academic piece, my degree, my HBCU degree holds weight no matter what job or what career I choose to go into. Just whether it's a Prairie View degree, which I have two of, or it's a Florida A&M University degree. Those HBCU degrees hold weight. So you can get anywhere in the world, wherever you want to be 10 years from now when you set that long-term goal, you can do that at HBCU, and I appreciate that a lot.
Absolutely. We're talking right now with KJ Black, offensive coordinator for the FAMU Rattlers, talking about his experience now over at FAMU. And when you get on the campus of FAMU, what's the first thing that sticks out to you and lets you know that you were on the campus of FAMU?
The first thing that sticks out is probably this hill that is not a joke at all. The campus actually sits on the highest hill in the city of Tallahassee. So the football field house and stadium is at the bottom, which is where I currently am. But when you first pull up to campus, well, especially for me, when I'm coming from work, you start at the top of the hill. And there's a courtyard there where they have a flame that never goes out, that was given to them by a publication that is slipping my mind right now. But they won top public university of the year, and that's not just an HBCU award, but they're talking about for all colleges and universities across the nation. Florida A&M won, top college or university in 1998, and they were given an eternal flame as that award, and it has not burned out. So every time I drive by it, coming to work, and I see it, I know that I'm on campus. And I thought it was a really neat thing to put in the middle of campus and show the prestige of your university.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's something that you can definitely walk with your head held high on. And when you talk about some of the traditions that you have been able to experience at FAMU, what are some traditions that you're going to always be PV proud, but you'll see something, you say, man, you know what? That's pretty tight. Man, we should do that on the yard back at Prairie View. Is there anything like that jumps out to you?
So I'll be honest, I got here in August of last year, so I was in the middle of camp. Really, actually, the first week of the season was my first day officially on the tab. And to be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to engage in a lot of stuff away from the field. But I'll tell you what, the very first thing that sticks out to my mind, and I've spoken to a couple of buddies that are in the coaching profession and told them about this here specifically, the Marching 100 is something to see. They are a dynamic band, and my favorite song that they play it every game. Before the game, they play it during the game. When we may be a little dull, or we may be a little down, and we need a little juice, they play a song, and you have to YouTube it, and check it out, Mike. But they play a song called "Let's Go," and the entire crowd is doing a strike with their hand as the band plays a song. So you can just imagine sitting at the top in the press box where I'm at. And the band is playing that song, Let's Go, and everybody is striking with their arm and making that circular motion. It's something to see now. It's something to see.
I can imagine.
And I hope you get a chance to see it, because it's something that I hope, as an alum, and I hope I don't get, crushed for this at work tomorrow, but I hope as an alum at Prairie View, we can come up with something like that can rile up the fan base or rile up our team, when they may be down, because I think that's an awesome thing to have in your back pocket.
Well, Preview, the Marching Storm has the Swamp Song.
Yeah.
That gets everybody amped up and juiced up. Now, we don't have any strikings or anything that goes with it, but maybe we need to get with old Tim Zachary, band director, and see if we can try to coordinate something over there. But that's real good, and that's what makes all colleges, but in particular HBCUs, all of them have their little unique flavor that you appreciate. If you can't be a hater and just say everybody sucks, because every one of them has something that's unique, and that's good to hear, and that you appreciate that, because it's all a part of what makes us unique in our own ways, man. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
We're talking right now with Brother KJ Black of the FAMU Rattlers, and you're getting up and you're stepping in. Can you talk about some of the players that you inherit as an OC without going into much detail? I know you're getting ready for spring play, but between you and I, you're really ready for the fall, aren't you?
You can't get me to do that. Nope, I'm ready for the spring. I'm ready. I'm ready for February and March to begin, so we can strap it up and go after this MEAC conference championship. That's what I'm ready for.
Yes, sir. Now, with this being the last hurrah, you guys are pretty much considered to be favorites in the MEAC. Who are some of the guys that we would need to be on the radar and look out for come spring?
Well, I have to start with, we got a few All-Americans preseason already that I think you'd have to start with them if you were to start with returning players. And the one that comes to mind, who I work with every day, is Xavier Smith. He's our wideout who had over 1,000 yards, actually 1,100 yards receiving last year. I think he had 77 catches. He is a dynamic receiver, and he makes my job easy because I could just give him a 1-yard pass and he turns into 30. So I'm excited about him and who he is as a young man and what he's going to bring to us going forward. We have another All-American up front at offensive guard. His name just slipped me. Oh man, he's gonna kill me tomorrow if he's listening to this. But he's a dynamic player as well. NFL is already calling myself and calling our head coach about him. They're excited about his prospectus going forward. Then our All-American safety, Marquise Bell. 6'3", 215 pounds, who I was laughing with our one of our quarterbacks yesterday because they told me his middle name was Ringio. So if you say his full name together, it's Marquise Ringio Bell. And he does it every Saturday as far as laying the wood. So
you playing with me, right? You playing with me.
I'm serious now. I'm serious. So they love him and we love him. He's one of the leaders on our team. And then our All-American punter, who is also getting a lot of looks from the NFL, Mr. Chris Fadul. And he has an iron leg, and he shows it every Saturday and helps us out with pinning teams deep inside the 20, which is an underappreciated part of the game, but he does it consistently, and we appreciate him for it. So, I mean, we've got a lot of returning talent. We're going to be a little young this year, but we definitely are going to be talented, and hopefully we can continue what we've already started these last couple of years.
Okay, then once again, we're talking with KJ Black on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. FAMU Rattler Nation got them a new offensive coordinator, and he's ready to go. Now, Coach, I got to ask you this, and all coaches have it, and so I got to ask you this right now. What are some of the little superstitious rituals that you go through before game time?
I don't have none. I don't. I get on myself all the time. Like, I got to do something because I know Simmons has his deal. I know a couple other coaches that I work with, they have their own deal, but I've never just had a routine because, to be honest with you, pregame goes by so fast. When you pull up to in a stadium and you get in that locker room, the first thing you want to do is get on the field. And by the time you get on the field, you know, you say hello to the other coaches and you go out and look at the opposing team. I got to go back in and get ready because we're about to bring the team out. I just don't have a pregame ritual. I don't have one. And I've been doing well so far, so I've never really thought to get one.
Well, what about the night before?
Oh man, long as I'm going to sleep, I'm good to go. I've never been a superstitious person. You know, I never thought I had to do something to make sure that I was in my right mind. As long as I'm my normal, calm, cool, and collected self, I try to be that. No matter if it's highs and highs or lows and lows, I feel like I can go out there and do my job.
Okay, well, I guess that's fair enough. So if I'm hearing, I'm about to read in between what you just said.
You always do. You always do.
When you got it like that, you don't have to come up with no rituals.
See, I didn't say that. You said that. You said that. I just said I just got to be myself. As long as I don't try to be anybody other than me.
When you
I'm
got
good.
it like that, you got it like that. It's all good, brother KJ. You're amongst family, brother. You're amongst
I
family.
am.
Yes,
And
sir.
like you said, like I just said, I'm gonna be me.
Yes,
So
sir.
there it is.
Yes, sir. Now, look, when you're out on the recruiting trail, and what is your territory? I know they break it up into territories. Do you have a specific territory, or do you just kind of just go where the talent leads you?
Right now, my area is Atlanta, Georgia, and I have the whole city now that Coach Jackson has moved on to bigger and better pastures. I have the entire city of Atlanta and a little bit of the Big Bend area, which is kind of North Florida, and a little bit of South Georgia. So I'm kind of in mostly Georgia, if you want to make it as simple as possible.
Okay. And there's talent all around us, but when you go to the state of Georgia, are you seeing more of a position that seems to be just overflowing with talent, that you can get some good people and other people get good talent from a certain position, or is just kind of even across the board?
I tell you what, Georgia is loaded across the board. Georgia has. Let me break it down to you like this. Florida is a fast state. You're going to find a lot of speed in the state of Florida. What you're not going to find a lot of in the state of Florida, at least on our level, is size. If you're fast and you have size here in the state of Florida, a lot of those guys tend to try to go to the FBS school. Now, the state of Georgia has some speed, but it's got size and athleticism everywhere, from quarterbacks to defensive linemen to safeties to corners. It's rare that I'll go to a school, especially in Atlanta, and they're trying to, sell me on a 5'8", 5'9" corner. They've got 5'11", 6 foot, 6'1" corners. They've got 6'1", 6'2" safeties, tackles, 6'4", 6'5". They've got size and athleticism in the state of Georgia. So that's one thing that I'm always excited about going to recruit, because I know I don't have to try to sell Coach Simmons or Coach Street, our defensive coordinator, on, hey, this guy's a great player, but he might not be the size that you want. They've got size in Georgia, and it makes it easy on me.
Okay, and from your time in, I'm gonna say the older model SWAC, where you were in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, how would you rank what was the norm of the pickings in those states?
How would I rank the states individually, or
how you just broke down Georgia?
Okay. Texas is about the same. Of course, they got the numbers, especially with it being as big as it is. They've got the numbers, so it's not like you have to fight for a couple of guys. As long as you do your job and you're hitting those smaller towns in Central Texas and around Houston and even in East Texas, you can find what you're looking for. So I would say that's what makes Texas a great state to recruit, is you can find what you're looking for. Louisiana is a little low on numbers, but there's definitely talent, definitely top end talent in Louisiana. Just per capita, they always produce a lot of professional players and big time players. It's just there's not a lot of them. The Mississippi is an underrated state for high school talent, as is Alabama. They produce great talent. You just have to, again, do your homework and find those small towns where players are out there putting up numbers. But if you do your homework, you can find great players in Mississippi and Alabama. But I would say numbers for Texas probably stands out the most. Just that it doesn't matter what we were looking for, we could find it. We just had to go out there and make the right calls and look under the right rocks, but you can find what you was looking for.
Absolutely. I was doing some research the other day, just in public school districts, not private, public school districts, 1,227 public school districts.
Wow.
That is a ton, from 1A to 6A. So you talking about from the rooter to the tutor. And it's almost safe to assume that if you can't find it in Texas, you weren't looking.
Yeah, you wasn't making the right calls.
Right.
You wasn't making the right calls. Not saying that if you were a Texas school that every player has to come from Texas.
Right.
Because it's, with it being so big, everybody makes that trip to Texas just like everybody makes that trip to Florida to recruit. But you should be able to get a good number of recruits from the state of Texas. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Once again, we're talking with KJ Black, offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach for the FAMU Rattlers, on, as they say, on the coaching climb, a rising star in the world of professional coachings on the college ranks. Now, as you're developing your scheme, your style, your profile, what are you learning about KJ the man and KJ the coach?
the KJ the man is learning, especially right now with us not being actively in a season right now, I'm learning how to put the small pieces together to get the picture that I want, if that makes sense. It kind of dawned on me really fast within the first couple of times we got together as an offense or as a team in general, that everything that I wanted to do offensively, I couldn't do right out the gate. I had to plant seeds, and I had to make sure everything was done correctly at the beginning to lay that foundation for what I ultimately want the team to be going forward when we do strap it up in the spring. I remember my second day of putting together the practice plan, and I was trying to put all these different looks in, and I had to stop and slow myself down and say, wait, we haven't put in the very basic of this concept to take it to the level I'm trying to take it to. So I had to really slow down and evaluate how I was trying to put the practice plan together. So I'm actively learning that right now. And then, as the coach, I'm learning how to deal again with multiple personalities and multiple players. I've never had to deal with more than 5 guys in the room. So now as I bring the offense up together, I'm learning how to talk to 45 rather than 5. And that's a different deal. It's a different deal. I can't get up there and talk specifically about quarterback play because I have offensive linemen who need to be coached or need to be harped on. I have wide receivers that need to be harped on and need to be reminded about stuff. I have running backs that are looking to me for answers on concepts and run plays. So I'm learning how to coach 45 right now. And that's a great challenge. It's a fun challenge. It keeps me up at night because I want to make sure I'm doing it right. But that's a fun challenge. So I'm learning how to put the foundation together as a man, because that goes back to being at home. I got to lay the foundation at home as well. So those two go hand in hand. I'm learning how to coach a larger group. So it's definitely keeping me on my toes.
Well, I think you're going to do a great job being on your toes, man. You know that we are PV proud of you no matter where you go. As I stated earlier, you're going to always be a Panther brother, and I don't care what color you wearing. When I cut you open, you're going to bleed purple and gold. KJ, I want to wish you nothing but the best of success, only when you're playing against us. And see, I'm going to have to cut you in half then and let that I said, I'll keep the good KJ over here, and I'll let the bad KJ go over there across the sideline. But we still going to love on you any way we can.
Hey, home is always home. So, again, I'll always have it. At home, I've got my degrees at home. Prairie View, I put them on the wall proud. I've got Prairie View all over my Instagrams and Twitters and all that stuff. So, I mean, I know where home is. I'll never forget where home is. And like I said, until we meet on the gridiron, I'll always keep a second eye on what's going on there at Prairie View.
I know that's right. Well, look, man, I want to give you some closing thoughts and comments right now, and the floor is now yours.
Yeah, right now there's a lot going on with in the world right now. We're talking about an election that's coming up that's going to impact a lot of lives, especially not only in our country, but across the world. So if you have not already, and I hope most of you already have, because we're about to start here again, but let's make sure we're getting out there and voting. That's the only way that we can impact change and try to make an impact in what's going on politically in our country right now. So everybody, please make sure you get out there and do your part and vote. I don't care who you vote for, just make sure you vote, because that's the only way we're going to get the results that we want. So that's all I really have, Mike. Just make sure we get out there and vote.
All right, my man. Look, I want to thank you so much for being our guest on tonight. Hug and kiss the mama and baby for us, man. And you stay safe, stay out of harm's way. And I'm not going to tell you to say go Panthers. I'll say go Panthers. But you say the other thing that you got to say. Go ahead and say it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Go Rattlers.
All right. We're going to take us a break, and we'll come back with some closing thoughts and comments. He is KJ Black, offense coordinator for the FAMU Rattlers. I'm the radio guy, Mike Prince. Keep it right where you got it. We'll be right back. Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union has 13 different locations to better serve you. Locations in Rosenberg, Missouri City, Katy, College Station, Bryan, Brenham, and Waller, Texas. For more information, you can contact them on their toll-free number, 855-391-2149. Or you can send an email to information@bvscu.edu.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You don't want the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Join us for a daily episode of the Mike Prince Show right here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
It's the Open Mic with Dr. Mike. The Open Radio and the Mike Prince Show. The Open Mic Broadcast Network. The Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Well, what do you know? The clock on the wall says that is all, and I must exit stage left. What a show we had on tonight. We want to thank Waller Bulldogs head football coach Gene Johnson for joining in with us. The Bulldogs will get ready to take on the Caney Creek Panthers this week. And we cannot forget our little brother from another mother. He's wearing the FAMU colors, but he bleeds PV Panther gold, purple and gold, KJ Black. I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of our daily episodes. Don't forget, if the Lord says the same in the creek, don't rise. We'll be here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., scheduled to have with us on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline, Coach Sandy Pugh of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. I've got to go. But until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.